Welcome back, everyone, to this last episode of Alan Bradley PLC and SQL video series. And we are now in the last step, step 5, where we are going to try to delete the SQL data and then restart the process. But before we get into that, I would like to mention that you will find in the description the link to the first playlist that basically touch on all these SQL add-on instructions, how they work, how they get set up in great details. I also have a video that talk about the web server add-on instruction, so I would encourage you to watch that video to understand how that block works and how it gets set and everything. Okay, so without any further delay, let's jump to it. So as we saw in the previous step 4, we are seeing the data in our browser. So now what we want to do, just jumping here to the PLC. So this is my step 5 routine. So in here what I'm trying to do is, once I retrieve my data in here, what I want to do is I want to delete all those 30 transactions from the SQL table, and then reset all the counters, and then resume the process again. So once this get deleted, then I'm gonna have this counter goes to 1, and then I'm gonna reset this counter, which is the counter for the transactions. And as soon as I do that, if I look here in step 2, if you recall from the step 2 video, so if we see here, once we reset that counter 2, then we're going to start to insert again and log, and then this 2 resets here. So those 2 counters are one for the retrieve, and this last one is for the delete. So that's why we have these resets now in here. As I mentioned in the step 2 videos, I said that we'll touch on those, why we have these resets. So once we reset now this counter and then the delete, then of course we will resume also in here the retrieve process, and then again the mapping here and the publishing. This one here is happening regardless, so it's updating all the time. As soon as the data comes in, it's gonna update it and it's gonna have it available in the browser. So let's toggle this bit here, and then we're gonna see how all that works. So as we can see now here, here's the retrieve counter has been now reset. So as we can see here, the transaction counter is incrementing, so we're having new transaction coming into the SQL tables. So if we look in here, we can see there's there we go. So there is new transactions has been filled in the table. So far we have like 14, and if we go to our browser, we can see we have new values coming in here. And what actually I'm going to be doing also, I'm going to change this tag from 1000 to 2000, so we can have also a clear visual that everything is updating properly. So to change that, I'm going to go to the insert query, and simply I'm going to go to the configuration here, and in the values I'm going to change this one here tag 1000 to tag 2000, like that. And it might take a few seconds for it to update, but let's have a look at our browser here. So as we can see now in our browser, here is the 2000 coming in that we just changed in the PLC. So that's how all that works. Now, one last thing I would like to mention, we see here this routine for 2014. So actually, while we were doing all this, all these tasks, between logging data and retrieving the data and publishing it over the web and so forth, this one also was logging data to our SQL 2014. And just to show you that, if I open this, so as you can see here, here is the transactions are incrementing. And if we have a look at the SQL database, so as we can see here, here is our table. I'm just going to do a select, and we can see here we have 9,741 rows because it was logging all the time in there. I'm just going to give it a few seconds, and we're going to see this number incrementing. If I execute again, and as you can see now it's 9,747, so there's already 6 transactions has been added. So that's it for me, folks, and I hope you guys enjoyed the content of this video series, and I will see you in next video series. Thank you very much for watching.